United States Defense Secretary is under scrutiny and fire for a lack of transparency.
ABC News is learning the new timeline in Defense Secretary Lloyd Austin's illness as questions swirl about when the president was told. A defense official says Austin left the hospital on December 23rd following an elective procedure. He was then readmitted on January 1st and admitted to intensive care. ABC's Ike Ejachi is in Washington with the very latest.
Tonight, the extraordinary breach of protocol after top Pentagon officials, members of Congress, and even the White House were all unaware of Defense Secretary Lloyd Austin's hospitalization this week. A Pentagon official telling ABC News tonight that while on leave on December 22nd, Austin had what was described as a minor elective procedure at Walter Reed National Military Medical Center, returning home the next day. More than a week later, after experiencing severe pain, he was admitted to the ICU on New Year's Day. Still, it was not until Thursday, 3 days later, officials say, that the White House was informed. A U.S. official telling ABC News President Biden was exasperated after learning about Austin's lack of transparency. Austin issuing a statement this weekend, writing, "I recognize I could have done a better job ensuring the public was appropriately informed." Biden and Austin speaking Saturday night on the phone, officials saying the conversation was warm. And tonight, ABC News learning from a U.S. official that General C.Q. Brown, the chairman of the Joint Chiefs of Staff, knew of Austin's hospitalization on Tuesday, 2 days before the White House and other top U.S. officials were made aware.
It's pretty shocking on this because when you're the Secretary of Defense, you need to make everyone aware that you're actually going to be out of pocket.
And Lindsay, a U.S. official telling ABC News that even Secretary Austin's deputy, his number 2, Kathleen Hicks, was not informed in advance of his medical procedure and was on vacation in Puerto Rico, literally in the water, when she was taken back to a secure location.
It seems like everybody that's in our legislature or in leadership positions for the United States of America is on vacation, even after the holidays. That's weird. But everybody was basically pissed off. They try to act like, oh, no, it was a warm conversation. And shout out to Brian Hunter. I'm going to read that Cash App shortly. But realistically, the White House was absolutely pissed, and they said that they're going to review the process and procedures surrounding Defense Secretary Lloyd Austin's hospitalization last week and make changes if necessary. But President Joe Biden has no plans to fire him. Well, of course he can't fire the black Secretary of Defense because he elected to do a procedure that will be bad press, right? It's not about who does the job the best. It's about whether or not it'll make you look good, especially going into election season. He says, we will obviously, I think, as you might expect, we'll take a look at the process and procedure here and try to learn from this experience, National Security Council spokesman John Kirby told reporters aboard Air Force One. He said if there are changes required following that review, the White House would implement them. I think that there's an expectation that when a cabinet official becomes hospitalized, that will be notified up the chain of command. There is that expectation. They said that Biden retains confidence in Austin and looks forward to seeing him return to the Pentagon. Now, I don't know what city this man is from. I don't know what he thought was going to play out, but I try to figure out why people do some of the things that they do. It does not make sense to me, but he decided to have an elective procedure and was admitted to the hospital, including the ICU, and he didn't think that anybody would notice. Anyways, moving on, Taraji P. Henson continues to take over the news. And she said that she fought to have drivers take the Color Purple cast to the set instead of them giving them rental cars. Now, I heard that it costs upwards of like $100 million to make the recent Color Purple, and they're nowhere near of clearing that budget, but neither here nor there. In a new interview, the Empire alum revealed that producers of the film gave the cast rental cars to take themselves to set of the production. However, Henson said she fought to get a driver due to it being an insurance liability. She goes on to say, they gave us rental cars. Now, okay, I'm informed enough, and I tapped into some people over the weekend to find out what really happens, and I guess this is a normal thing for actors to actually drive themselves to set, similar to how you guys drive yourself to work. Neither here nor there. But she says They gave us rental cars, and I was like, I can't drive myself to set in Atlanta. This is insurance liability. It's dangerous, and now they robbing people. Henson recalled during an interview with the New York Times. She says, what do I look like taking myself to work by myself in a rental car? She goes on to say, so I was like, can I get a driver or security take me? I'm not asking for the moon. They're like, well, if we do it for you, we got to do it for everybody. She continued, well, do it for everybody. It's stuff like that, stuff I shouldn't have to fight for. I was on a set of Empire fighting for trailers that wasn't, well, she goes on and all of that. Henson noted that these situations wear on her soul because you fight so hard to establish a name for yourself and to be respected in this town to no avail. She says with black films, they just don't want to take us overseas. And I don't understand that. Black translate all over the world. So why wouldn't the movies? I have a following in China of all places. Y'all not going to capitalize off of that? Don't everybody want to make money here? I'm not the person that pulls the race card every time, but what else is it then? Tell me. I'd rather not it be race, but please give me something else. I don't anticipate necessarily seeing Taraji P. Henson in any future movies except for maybe on Tubi, because it seems like she's a diva and getting the reputation of being very difficult to work for. But, you know, we'll continue to cover that on After Hours on Tuesday night. And then last but not least, there's a... I'm sorry. As soon as I pull up this picture... It's a Houston rapper. I think his name is Viper. Fam, listen, y'all. Once you get past a certain age, you're going to have to give up rap. And I know this is not necessarily a good story. This is actually a bad story. He's a popular Houston rapper named Viper. And I've never heard of this guy before, but apparently some of y'all have in the chat. Shout out to the chat. Whenever you missing all of this and you only got this back here and on the sides, it's time to give up hip hop, yo. It's time to give up hip hop. Anyways, Viper is out here stealing women. Yeah, Viper is out here stealing women. Check it out, y'all.
ABC 13 broke this next story. A man arrested accused of holding a pregnant woman against her will for years. And tonight, police have a new problem. They can't find the alleged victim of this man, Lee Carter. After our news team called with questions, officers rushed over and busted open the house in Southeast Houston. ABC 13's Pooja Lodia is live with the very latest. Pooja.
Eric, Houston police say they've been trying to get in contact with this victim for 2 days now. They worry she could be in danger after being locked up in this home here behind me for years. We have also learned that the suspect is a well-known Houston rapper with a large social media following. Police move in, smashing through a window and opening a door. They're looking for a woman they believe had been locked up here for years.
We were very concerned that there could have been somebody in there that needed immediate assistance.
Inside, they found a dog, an empty mattress, and a deadbolt that closed from the outside. The TV was still on.
The cops come banging on my door at one point, maybe almost a year ago now, claiming that someone had called from inside the house and was kidnapped or was not able to leave on her own. And right then, as the cops are standing at my door, a gal comes crawling out that window just there with the boards over it, just clawing her way out, pregnant, 8 months.
The man who owns the house, 52-year-old Lee Carter was arrested at a nearby motel yesterday. The accusations against him are so concerning. A judge cleared the room today before reading aloud court documents and setting his bond at $100,000. Carter is accused of picking up a pregnant woman while she was panhandling in South Houston, then bringing her here. The woman told police Carter locked her up, raped her, and forced her to take drugs, including pills and crack cocaine, for 4 to 5 years.
4 to 5 years is crazy. 4 to 5 years and forcing somebody to take crack is crazy, fam.
Court documents don't show if she ever gave birth, and if she did, what happened to the baby. Neighbors say they saw her sometimes.
He would back his car up to the shop, load her up, and back up to the door of the front of the house so she could bathe.
Houston police confirm receiving 8 calls for service to the house in the past year. The woman said police took her to the hospital multiple times, but she said the suspect would always later pick her up and bring her back to the home. In April, the woman messaged police for help through his laptop. When they arrived, they say she was filthy and weighed only about 70 pounds. Carter was gone. He's a real estate broker whose attorney today said is currently working on his Master's of Business Administration.
It makes me sick as a human being, and I can tell you as a police department, we are here for the citizens of Houston. We're here for the community, and we're here to make sure that this individual and her family gets justice.
So I'm going to keep on top of this. The police is apparently looking for this woman. He hasn't disclosed the location. They're saying that he kept her locked up for over 5 years. I don't know how nobody knows what's going on. I know all of my neighbors that's inside of my building. So I don't know. Either we got a lack of community or these people are just demonic. And the fact that he's working on his master's in business administration and he's a real estate broker and over here being Jeffrey Dahmer is crazy. So I'm going to stay on top of this. Houston is the new demonic hellhole, I guess, and they taking the reins over from Atlanta. Nobody can quite top Chicago at the moment, but